Hello and welcome to the King's Forum podcast show. Back with another show. Hannah back on the show. It's been a while. It's been a minute, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Thank you for having me back.
Oh, it's nice. It's nice to be back. I had a little, detox from social media and what have you and away from the podcast. So getting back to it, working my way back to feeling like my old self. It's nice. It's nice. Yeah. So talk to me about purpose, Hannah. What does that mean to you? Life purpose and
yeah, sure. No pressure. That's a big one, huh?
It's
a lot of people. It's like it reminds me of that TV show Loki, where he talks about glorious purpose. I believe that as humans, we all function a little better when we have some sort of purpose, right?
I agree.
We can argue that nothing really matters, and there's a nihilistic view where nothing matters, so just do whatever the hell you want, don't care about anyone. That's kind of the darker side of it. And then the other side is, if nothing matters, why not go for your dreams? Why not go for your deepest desires? And it's a lot of times we think what we want is what society has told us we should want, or our egos that we've developed in order to protect ourselves. That's what it tells us we need. Like, we need the big house, we need the big car, we need to, have the hot husband or the hot wife, and we need to have all these external things. And a lot of times it's not that we're truly wanting. It's just that that's what we've been so immersed in, that we think, okay, once I get that, then I'll start feeling safe, I'll start feeling love. And if we just kind of take all of that away, most people, what they truly want is to feel love. That's pretty much what almost every single human wants to feel. And it's to feel seen, to feel heard, to feel connected with another human being, to feel connected with the entire world, the universe. And we're so disconnected from everyone because we're disconnected from ourselves. So how can you know your soul purpose when you're not even in, you're not even connection with your deeper inner self, or you can call it your higher self, whatever. But that still small voice that the Bible talks about, you can say it's God, but it's it's you, it's your internal soul trying to speak to you. And you can't hear it because of all this other noise going around, and constantly scrolling through TikTok, or looking at, what did this coach say you should do? What did this mastermind say you should do? What does that mastermind say you should do? Well, this strategy and that strategy, and what I should do and what I shouldn't. It's like there's so many shoulds, right? And so soul purpose, no one in this world can tell you your soul purpose. No one can tell you that. Only you know that. And the way to get back in touch with that is to really just go within. And though that sounds cliche, it's just to, I believe truly that we all come here with our own desires, right? Like our soul. We all come with a very specific set of desires. And my desires are completely different than your desires. And your desires are completely different than someone else's desires. And it's about like building that connection with yourself again, and that trust with yourself, and in a higher power, or in a greater power, whatever, universe, God, source, whatever you call it, magic, and trusting that those desires are meant for you because they're very specific to you, right? They're like, if you talk to more people, everyone has their own specific set of desires. Like, I don't ever want to be a chef, but somebody's born, they want to be like an amazing chef, and they love to cook for people, right? So that could be their soul purpose, right? Well, for me, I'm like, oh, hell no, you can pay me to cook for people. Like, I don't want to do that, And so,
but you like to eat, we know that.
Yeah, you can pay me to eat. Hell yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm the sexiest Pillsbury dough girl that you'll meet, right? So like, it's like everyone's soul purpose is different. Someone's soul purpose could be to just be a really good friend. It doesn't even have to be this grand business, whatever. I know I grew up in the Western culture, especially America, where the American dream is to pull yourself up from your bootstraps, become a billionaire and fucking dazzle the whole world, right? But it's like, what if what you truly want is to just be a stay-at-home dad? And what if, sorry about the noise. What if what you truly want is to be a stay-at-home mom? Or what if you truly just want to be a businesswoman? You don't want to have kids. That's specific to you and your soul desire. But sometimes there's layers there of trauma that make us think that we need to be this way, or we need to be that way. A lot of hyper independent women are from unhealed trauma, right? So it's important to really dig into all of that shit, like all your layers, and just dig and really like kind of like shed all the shit that's not you and get back to yourself. Like most of the time it's who you were as a little child, you know, between the ages of 1 to 5. That's usually your true personality, right? Like who you came here to be. That's who you are, right? And recently I've kind of returned back to that. As there was a time where I was thinking I should be more feminine, or I should be this, or I should be that. And I was recently asking my parents, like, how was I as a little kid? Can you like explain it to me? And they're describing that you were always a mischievous little miscreant. You know, you were always getting into things. You were just like a tomboy. You were really like high energy. You're just all over the place. And also very tenacious and very like, you know, didn't give up, and very big, kind-hearted, and just very playful. And I was like, that resonates with me, you know, on a certain level. I used to think, oh, I have to look very put together. I'm a businesswoman. I have to look very feminine. I have to look very posh. But I'm like, I can look posh and still be mischievous and still be playful. And that's my personality. I can't deny it anymore. Right. And so like the soul purpose comes with just following your desires, as weird as that may sound. Your deepest desires, you know, not the surface level desire of I want to eat this cookie. Like there's a deeper desire in you. You know, most of us feel that we're meant for something bigger. We're meant for something great. Like everyone is meant for something great and something big. But a lot of times we don't go deep enough to find that courage to go for it, you know?
And I think it's determining what's great to you.
Mm-hmm.
Someone can perceive that as being, oh, you're meant to be this famous, you know, well-known person globally, you know, everyone's meant to know. Is that your, you know, thing that you're talking about, that you're meant to have, there's this great purpose or life laid out for you, Mike? Is that what you want? And it could be, as you said before, it could be something so simple, but it's getting to that place and finding it and really being comfortable with it and sitting there. And I think once you get there, that's when you feel this is where I belong.
Mm-hmm.
That sense of belonging. And like you said, we're all trying to find that, aren't we? And as you said, we want to be loved.
Mm-hmm.
And it, you know, that shows up in very different ways, you know, with different people, how they search for that love. And it's never, you know, that something really wholesome and real, but we look sometimes in the wrong areas for it. You know, we can talk about likes on Instagram, for instance. That could be someone's version of the love they're getting, but they would never feel fulfilled from that. But they see it as attention, love, you know, and it's not real. So it's finding that happy place. And that's why I wanted to do this podcast, was but you know, and getting great opinions from people I connect with around purpose and things like that. And you know, not making it out to be this massive thing where everyone, you know, everyone knows what it should be. And it's about finding your happy place and making it simple and finding something of importance that you love and you're passionate about.
Yeah. And I think Eckhart Tolle is one of my favorite spiritual teachers, said this, that your purpose is merely what you're doing right now, is to be 100% immersed in it in the present moment. So there may be this deeper soul purpose, this higher purpose that you're on the path of, but you only have the present moment ever. You can't ever jump into a future or the past, right? You're only in the present moment ever. So whatever it is that is given or whatever needs to be done in that moment, that is your soul purpose too. So to do that to the best of your abilities, as in be 100% immersed in whatever it is that you do, and not have your head in La La Land or somewhere else, because you're here, right? And I also, talk about manifestation a lot, and we do need to imagine and dream. Yes, it's important, but there's a time and place for everything, right? So if you're focusing on a task and something needs to be done, when you focus 100% of your attention on that, like the energy, the value that you bring to it, the creativity, the ideas, it's way more vast than if your mind is over here and you're just kind of like da 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 da. And most of us are just in the da 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 da, like La La Land,
Definitely.
thinking, oh, I need to one day do my soul purpose. I need to one day, but what if like your soul purpose just landed in your lap right now? Are you even going to be present for it?
Yes, I kind of, when I think of purpose, for me, I think of like career wise.
Yeah.
I do believe that everyone has a purpose in life, but they might not have the right direction to ever find it. They might not, kind of want to find it or the courage to do it. Obviously, I've struggled, if you've seen past podcasts, I've struggled with my mental health. So my life up until quite recently has not felt like it's had much purpose apart from pleasing everybody else, because I didn't know what I wanted. And quite recently I've explored the things that I enjoy, taking a bit more time with the self-care, and in my everyday life I feel quite content. I'm a mum, I have a huge purpose of bringing up 3 wonderful children and kind of giving them the best that I can give them. I'm a wife, so there's that aspect of it. But when I think of career wise, I'm still finding my purpose. I think I came out of college and fell into childcare because I'm a natural healer, a natural carer. I think it's so, working with children was really easy for me, but now I feel like I want more, but I'm not actually sure what more is. So I think I'm at that stage currently where I feel my purpose and my end goal is out there, but right now I'm content in bringing up my children and that kind of life until I go and explore what is out there for me.
I totally get that. Yeah, I totally get you. So do you think that would completely fulfill you when you're ready to then look at your career aspect as something that's,
I think so. Yeah, and I think that's it, and it maybe it's not career wise for everyone else, but for me, I feel like I've never found that what I want to do. I loved looking after children in the early days. I mean, it was one of those jobs that didn't feel like a job. But as time went on and I became a mum, I was just stuck there because I knew how to do it. And the fear of trying something new and not having the confidence to get up and go kind of just kept me small, just kept me kind of down. So, yeah, I think, I enjoy my Instagram, inspiring people kind of to break out of that circuit that you get stuck in quite easily. And yeah.
No, I hear you. And I think that's the biggest thing for us, isn't it, as human beings, the fear aspect of leaving our comfort zones and challenging ourselves, and what if we fail, and so a lot of that stops us from truly fulfilling our lives and finding real happiness. If we're talking about careers, because obviously there's a lot of aspects to someone's life and how they go about their life. So, but we would just focusing on career there, that's a big thing, is why we get stuck in so many careers, is habit and the fear of change and what if we fail. And
I think that is in lots of aspects of life, to be fair. For me, like I say, the big thing that I seem to kind of focus on is the career, because I feel like I've got so much to give, but I don't know where to go with it. But I suppose there's so much fear of change that can stop several aspects of people finding their purpose, and just not having the correct support, the right support, I think is a real there's no one in your corner, if you've got no one in your corner fighting for you, saying, no, you can do this, come on, give it a go. You really, you know, and that I would imagine for some people it's really hard to kind of find,
Definitely.
you know, that purpose.
But you know, sometimes you have to create it. Sometimes
Yeah,
that perfect job isn't there. Sometimes you have to make that job.
no, precisely.
You know,
Find
you
what
have to find that. And they always say, look at your childhood, what you liked doing, what are you passionate about, and put together all the things that actually make you happy, and see if there is a career or something there within those things. And if not, you create that purpose for yourself. So there's so much opportunity with social media and other things. It's opened up so many avenues, I find, for things like
absolutely.
Because even me, because it's opened up opportunities with me for speaking with people, and if I want to be serious and make this a career, you know, there's opportunities to get out there and show certain companies, TV companies and what have you. So I think it's about, and it's difficult, of course, because as you said, if you haven't got people in your corner fighting for you, you know, pushing you and leading you in the right direction, because some people need guidance. Some people don't have that within themselves to find that purpose. Sometimes you need people pushing them, or
I'll tune back in when I've got my purpose, when I find my role.
That'd be good. Listen, a follow-up would be great. I think that's a great idea, and thanks for that, because that's what I'll do is like video number 2, a follow-up. You know,
I think the important thing about it is I feel quite content with where I am right now. Is before I used to stress about it. You know, it used to be something I found extremely stressful, but now I'm quite content that I will find it, but I'm where I should be right now. We're just about to get company.
It's been a journey, I would say, and it's the most important journey anyone will go on. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's been easy. It's had enough highs and lows, more lows than highs sometimes. But if anything, it's been a big, massive eye-opener, because it's made me more aware of who I am and what I really want to do in my life. And like you're saying, purpose, and learning about what purpose means to me, not what people have told me what purpose is, but more what it means to me. And for me, it's about living purposefully, not just doing something in my life with meaning. It's just living my life with meaning, to give my life more meaning. So it's like I wake up, I think, you know, what am I going to do today? I'll be grateful for what I have, what I'm about to do, what's coming my way. And then I make sure that I'm more mindful and aware in everything I do. And I know, like, all those little actions that I do, they all amount to something which leads to my purpose. And that's to serve and heal the world and help other people, as well as help myself, and then help the ones I love, and then help the people that I'm connecting with every single day.
Yeah, because we can look at your life, can't we? You're a wife, you're a mom, you know, these are massive, you know, when you talk about purpose and a real meaning, the two meaningful roles or things you have to do, and is a part of your life. So I suppose they give you lots of purpose as well.
Yeah, it's like finding my why and connecting to that why, which is my family and my friends, and just always making sure I'm doing the things that I need to do to make them happy, as well as myself. Obviously myself first. I cannot lie. I have to be selfless sometimes and put myself first, because I know that I can't pour from an empty cup. And the only way to be living more purposeful is to love and honor myself more. And I make sure I purposefully do that every single day.
No, I hear that. I think that's important, isn't it? We got to look after ourselves first before we can support others and help others. You know, we need to do it, look at that self-work, that inner work, and self-love, self-worth, self-care. You know, it's important. And I know some people say, well, you're being selfish, but you need to from time to time.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
think they need to abominate that word selfish, because when we've been programmed to believe that, when I think of myself, it's selfish, but it would be selfish of me not to care about myself, because I am number one and the center of my life. Because I cannot, if I don't care for myself and look after myself, I can't look after my son. And furthermore, what am I teaching my son? To not love and look after himself. So I have to teach him to be selfish sometimes in life, because he has to take care of himself and create boundaries with people, unless I want him to be a people pleaser and people to walk all over him, and for him to be like a slob and not care about himself, or live without no meaning. These are the challenges that we will face every day. We have to become a certain way and be that person that we want to kind of like teach others to be.
definitely.
And I mean, that's what I want, is to create a legacy, heal my generation and my ancestors, like cleanse that line and get rid of that generational curse, to kind of build a new legacy and teach, my children to then teach their children about good morals and values. And that's my purpose in life, is just to pass the knowledge that I have and the things that I've learned on to my family, as well as just people I connect with, so that they can change their life and live better.
Yeah. And that connects with what you want to do, isn't it? Your job. And
Yeah.
you talk a little bit about your career and kind of what you're focused on helping others in.
No, yeah, because that's the thing with the coaching. Like, I really want to help people to discover who they are and bring out the best version of themselves, the version of themselves they want to be and that they know they can be. Because like in our lives, it's so easy for people to keep us down or say things, and even not even people, for us to keep ourselves down. And it doesn't have to be like that no more. We are the creators of our own destiny. We have to learn to take charge of our lives and just step up and step out and break free of the molds and society and what everyone's trying to tell you what to do. If that's not what you want to do, do not do it, man. Because like I say, you only get one life, you get one shot. Don't live your life for other people, live your life for you.
So I know that the turning point in my life when I realized I had such a passion for helping people was when I was doing some volunteering in rural South Africa. So I came across
Yes.
a group of kids living on a piece of land with no running water, electricity. And I think I've seen this with you before, and just helping them, I can't explain it. It sparked this feeling of fulfillment that I've never experienced in any other action I've ever taken.
I bet it gave you real perspective, didn't it? Like life perspective, a kind of, what people are going through and where you're at, and kind of really having a look at, the things we take for granted in our lives and all the opportunities we may have. And then there's some people, they make a great life and make do with what they have, and that's enough for them, and they make the most of it.
It is exactly that. It shifted my perspective from 0 to 100 in one encounter with those kids. I went from being anxious, unhappy, just worrying about small things in my life, market share and how much money I was making, to grateful that I had a bed to sleep in. So
yeah. How has that all helped you, being a cognitive coach that you are?
Well, it helps me just remember that, it always puts things in perspective for me. There are so many people that suffer. So some of the daily problems that, they're all relevant, and we're all going through our own journey, and we've all got our own feelings are relevant, but it just makes me feel grateful all the time, because I know how hard some people have it. I've seen it.
Yeah, I think that's important, isn't it? Experience and living life, that they're the things we need to help us, be better versions of ourselves, or the job like you're doing, and me with my podcast and things I want to do eventually. They're very important, where you can relate and really connect with people. You can really have understanding behind your support that you can give. I think that's huge.
Yeah, well, thank you. And also, you know, what it is really, if I can go back and explain like this, it's really putting yourself, walking a few steps in those people's shoes. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
To physically witness, to physically feel, to physically engage on that level it will shake your world.
Definitely. So purpose as a whole, because some people may look at that and say, you know, that's just a made up thing that, you know, everyone has a purpose, everyone has, you know, and some people may look at it as really they don't, and they just kind of live their lives. You know, what do you think about that? Do you think it's this real tangible thing, or is it just something fancy we talk about to make it sound, our lives sound so much more interesting?
To me it feels real. But I don't like to make it feel pressurized. I don't want people to go, you have to find your purpose, you have to go find your purpose.
Yeah.
Because your purpose can change in life. As we go through different chapters in our life, I feel like your purpose can change, and as your passions change, that can change. It's just about exploring life and finding things that light you up, and what you can do to feel a little bit more fulfilled. I don't think living in autopilot and just going through life half alive is the answer.
Yeah. I think as human beings, I don't think we will ever be fulfilled doing that, even though we can get caught up with life and the hustle and bustle. I think why I wanted to do this podcast on purpose is more around finding your happy place, what's important to you, what you're passionate about, and taking it there rather than this magical word or this magical thing, because it's different for everyone. And, you know, and for me, it's just finding what makes you happy, and what you know, just gives you that, you know, that good feeling, that feeling of fulfillment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like the way you put it. It sounds like a very balanced approach, and it's always just coming back to that point, to that center point.
Always.
I think the start of finding my purpose was sort of just listening to myself and what I wanted, and not listening to what other people wanted for me. Like, I didn't come from a background where we were business owners, or we even knew any business owners or any successful people, really, to be honest. So I didn't really get much support when I said I wanted to run my own business and that I was gonna, you know, make loads of money from it and all that. I didn't get much support at all. So but it just comes with, you just can't care what other people think. We all have the fear of judgment, we do, and it's just having to get over that and just quieten the noise outside of yourself and listen to what you want inside your heart. And once I started quieting the noise and doing things anyway, even though, like, you know, like my mum said, oh, you need a stable job, you need a stable income. You know, once I started just going against what other people were telling me to do and doing what I thought I was doing, that's when I sort of came into my own and found what I love doing.
Yeah, that's a part of the journey as human beings, isn't it? Because it's conditioning, isn't it? We've been conditioned, you know, the culture, the environment, you know, what our parents have told us, close family, friends, and it's, you know, unlearning all of that and finding your true authentic self, and that's a part of that journey. And once you start doing that, you start to actually feel you and more happiness within yourself. Once you started doing that, where did it lead you to? Okay,
so like what I do now, I do a lot of like limit and belief work, getting rid of energy that you don't need. And it took me to a lot of like energy healing. Like the first thing I did was Reiki. And the energy part of it, like the being able to heal yourself part of it, is like my passion now. Like, I just want to tell people, you know, we don't need Western medicine as much as we rely on it. Like, obviously Western medicine has got a place. I know that at some point in my life I'm probably going to need a hospital, like touch wood. You know, I've got family members who are in hospital now, and I'm really grateful for what they're doing. But we have got the ability to heal a lot of our ailments ourselves. Like we can, and all of our ailments come down to energy as well. So getting people to understand energy and getting people to understand that they can move that energy and shift it themselves without having to go on this tablet or that tablet. Like, I just think, you know, if I can just help people rely a little bit less on Western medicine, because I know that not all medication is bad, but I just think that it's so overused in this country, and like we're so sick as a nation, like we really are. Like, so it's just about getting people in the mindset that I can heal myself.
I think when you say we're so sick as a nation, it then, you know, I then had a thought of we are making ourselves sick. That's why the spiritual aspect is so important. It's looking from within, because it does affect your health. Like, we could talk about things like cancer and things like that, and the difference it makes for your well-being. You know, focusing on your own well-being, your self-love, your self-worth, your self-care, and focusing on that actually helps you overall and can help you overcome viruses and things like that, just due to your state of mind and how you feel about yourself. That's what's interesting about the whole self-healing, because that's what it means, is kind of. And I think that's why as a nation we've been so sick, because if you think about the Western world, about, you know, how, you know, what we've been conditioned to thinking success is, working hard, playing hard, and, you know, all of that, you know, it does lead to burnout. So then it means we're unhealthy because we're not taking care of ourselves, because we're overworking, we're partying. Where's the rest? Where's the eating the right foods? Where's the, so it all has an impact. So that's why we see so much of the whole holistic method and the healing and spiritual side of things, why there's so many people out there, because I think there's much more of a need for this, of a focus, and people are going back to basics of, you know, humanity and how we used to heal ourselves way back, you know.
Well, I think we've still got that innate like wisdom inside of us. Like, I believe that we carry the wisdom of like the generations before us. But it's just about waking that up. It's about trusting in that wisdom, because everything in society tells us not to trust that wisdom. You know, like, look at what's been on the news the past, maybe 3 years now. COVID, don't trust your own immune system, go and get this jab, go and get that jab. Now, whatever you think about jabs, it has taught us to not trust our own immune system. And what you said about like overworking as well, like stress is the biggest killer. Like in like the Western world, you know, it causes like high blood pressure, heart attacks, you know, depression and stuff like that. And it lowers your immune system, like the stress hormones, like cortisol and stuff, they lower your immune system, so you're getting sick more often. And it is about that holistic approach. It's about your mind, your body, and your soul being healthy, because it's not enough to go to the gym and then go and work for 12 hours a day and then go out and get drunk and then get 2 hours of sleep, and like that's not healthy. Even though you go to the gym, it's about the whole package, like your mind as well.
Yeah, and when you don't have a real purpose, that's something, because people would say, will answer that question and say, well, I earn this, I do this job and whatever it is, and say that's their purpose. But what I'm trying to get to is, you know, because someone may look at that and say, yeah, that's all like Disney, that's some fantasy, you know, purpose and happiness and all this. You just live to work and you make the most out of life. But my point about this is why I've done this topic is about happiness. That's all I'm trying to say, is do something that makes you happy. And if that is working in that city job or wherever 14 hours a day or whatever, as long as you're happy inside, that's all that matters. And it's about you not focusing on what other people think you should be doing, and what what people kind of view as what your happiness should be. Oh,
Yeah.
you should have 2 kids by now. You should be married. You should have the dream job, house in the countryside. You should listen, you should do whatever you feel you need to be doing. And that, for me, it's just about being happy. So forget about the Disney and all the nice fancy phrases. It's just about finding your true happiness, of being true and authentic to yourself, and living the life you want to live, rather than what someone has told you should be living and what society expects you to be living.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I found with a lot of my coaching clients, like they stress out because they're not where other people expect them to be. Like, I used to think myself, you know, oh, so I want to grow up, I want to have a nice job, I want to buy a house in a nice area of Liverpool, and I want to drive like a Range Rover. And then, like, I've sat there and thought about it, and I thought, do I even want any of them things? I don't even want to buy a house. I don't want to be tied down to anywhere. I want to travel. I don't want kids. Like, I think when you're going against the grain a little bit, it's hard, because people don't expect anyone to go against the grain. Everyone wants to keep the status quo, you know. But if your happiness isn't in that status quo mindset, then you've got to discover what it is that actually makes you sing inside. Like, what is actually, like, gonna make you get up and go, right, I'm gonna work towards this goal today, and actually be passionate about it.
Yeah, 100%. And a lot of the times we just want to fit in, don't we? We want to feel a part of something. So going against that grain, you can feel very lonely and like an outcast.
Yeah.
We, as human beings, we want to feel a part of something and feel accepted. So we're going to get, that's why it takes us a lot of the time later on in life to really discover who we are.
Yeah.
Because when you're young and you don't have life experience, you're just following the herd, aren't you? You're just following the herd, and you're not a shepherd. You don't know how to be, because you don't have the experience and you haven't been through things to be like, oh yeah, actually, no, forget about this lot. I want to go and do this.
Yeah.
You don't have that mindset yet. And that's what I mean. I think it takes life experience, whether it's traumatic events, whatever you've gone through, to really start bringing you and to the place you want to be and living the life you want to be living.
What about purpose? That's a big one to start with.
What do you want to ask me?
Oh my God, what could I ask you? Well, have you found yet? I mean, that's something I'm really into right now. Like, I'm really into soul purpose, to come back to the true self, coming back to my soul, and understanding who am I when I'm not when I'm not my work, when I'm not my family, or when I'm not my culture. Who am I at the core of myself, at the soul level? And one of the things that I've been working on a lot, ultimately for the past month, is to find one of my soul's purpose. Is it ever a work that you've ever done before?
No, but I know where you're coming from. So you're talking about stripping back. I think I messaged you about this, actually, about stripping all the conditioning, all the things that we've been taught, all the expectations of us as look at yourself and kind of the role you have in your environment, your family, society.
Absolutely.
Unlearning all of those things that we've taken on. When you're a child, you're a sponge and you're just soaking up all this information. Yeah, and as we grow older and try and find ourselves, we then, when you just kind of wring out that sponge,
the water, yes,
and release it, and that sponge is no longer as heavy; it's lighter now.
Yeah, and when it's lighter, and that's something I teach a lot, like emptying your cup before you're filling it again. I feel it's the same thing. So releasing the weight, releasing the layers that we've been accumulating over ourselves throughout expectations, culture, and all what you were telling before. But when you empty the cup and when you unlearn, you can then choose, because not everything is bad. We just need to choose what's best for us.
There you go.
There.
And that journey, and yes, I haven't done, I've done the work.
Tell me. Yeah.
I've done the work on myself, yeah, over the years and through experience and maybe trauma I've been through. We evaluate our lives, we analyze, we self-reflect. And the older I've got and the more I unlearn and find my true self and my true authentic self, by stripping back all these layers, like an onion, peeling off all the layers. And what you're left with is you. So I'm still working on that. I'm not there yet, but I think a lot of that is having the confidence and self-belief to pursue what you want to. So you know, the pursuit of happiness, they call it, yeah?
Yeah.
The pursuit of happiness.
That was a great movie, actually. Yeah.
The pursuit of happiness. And you can only be on that road or that journey, that destination, through really finding your true self. And I'm on the road. I'm not there yet. But all of these things like the podcast and things I'm doing, meeting people like yourself, like-minded people, connecting. You know, we always say it's about energies, isn't it? So
absolutely
connecting with different energies, same people on the same frequency, and getting there. So that's my way of finding my purpose. And for me, this fills me with joy. So I can be down. Like today, I wasn't in the best frame of mind, but I've done a couple now of these podcasts today, and that's just picked up my mood. That's because for me, it's that's the purpose, is the happiness and finding your space and your place. And for me, that's put me in a lot better mood. Meeting people like yourself and a couple people earlier on today on this call and really chatting and finding out, you know, kind of your journey and what you're on. That's definitely helped. That definitely picks my mood up because it's something I love doing. You know, when you're passionate about something and you definitely feel positive about things.
Yeah, and it energizes you instead of getting you tired. That's for sure. If you don't overdo it, that's also a problem that I've been dealing with. Because I can be very passionate, just like you seem to be. And even if you're passionate about your job or what you do or another work that you're doing, if you're overdoing it, it's not enough to just love that thing. It's not enough. It's always about balance. But you were talking about the purpose of happiness with this podcast and what you're doing. Could you kind of like phrase it, like which kind of happiness or how?
Oh, that's interesting. I've never thought.
How happiness?
I think it's to do with the soul, I guess.
Happiness of the soul. Is it for others? Is it for you?
Both. Within the structure of these podcasts, a lot of it's around inner work, mental health, chronic illnesses, and the aim is always showing that there's light at the end of the tunnel. That even no matter how dark things get, there is some light, and there's always something positive that can come from your pain and your experiences, you know, good or bad. There's always something that comes from it, or some learning, shall I say, that comes from these experiences. So what I'm getting is it's feeding my soul. That happiness is really feeding that. And it's a nice feeling. It's a warm feeling, and I get it all over, and doing some good. And that maybe, you know, I may not be able to reach out to thousands of people, but even the 1 or 2 people I can reach out to, hopefully that's making a positive difference in their lives.
May I rephrase that?
Okay.
Yeah. I heard, and maybe I'm wrong, but I heard that you were trying to expose light to people, into yourself. And light, I mean like light outside of the tunnel, like the positive, the happiness, whatever is linked to light for you or for others. Could be happiness, like you said. Like, I guess you're kind of a guide towards the light.
Yeah, that's a way of looking at it. I've never looked at it that way, but definitely that's what I said. And
Okay.
you relaying it back to me. Yes, that's what I said. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I agree.
I'm not wrong. Good. Because I can be wrong. There's nothing wrong with that.
No. You're correct.
Okay,
That's
okay.
exactly what I said.
I love that. That's a beautiful purpose.
And that's what I feel mine is. And you said something earlier on about stripping everything. When you strip everything back, what you left with. And I see love.
Yeah, love is a powerful emotion for sure. It's a powerful energy.
Yeah, live in one vibrational energy.
Absolutely. And being into this work myself and having worked with people and myself, I also found that love isn't felt at the same place for everyone. It doesn't vibrate at the same place in the body for everyone. Is there a place for you that you feel like love when you think of love and you let yourself dive into this energy? Is there a place in your body that you feel it most?
It's normally around the chest.
That's kind of normal, I guess, because of the heart space.
I could have said my big toe or something, but I said my chest.
Would you have really said your big toe? Is that
No,
the
no,
place?
no.
No, okay. Well, I mean, everyone is different at that point. But I'm saying this because throughout Yoga Nidra and deep practices, obviously we go into the heart space when we talk about love, but it's kind of for me, it's kind of a deep inner feeling. It goes deeper than the heart space. It's like in my chest, in between the rib cage, behind the breath. And it's a space where I can dive deeper and deeper and deeper. And that transcends my body. It just goes so deep that I go into a place that one of my teachers taught me about, which is the cave of the heart.
Wow.
And in that space of the cave of the heart, everyone has a different space, but I don't know, it's just pure light, pure energy, and connection to your inner knowing. Because the heart knows and knows that it knows. It's a phrase that I heard before with my Yoga Nidra teacher and meditation teacher. And I couldn't understand it at first, like the heart knows and knows that it knows. It's such a deep feeling that the more I practice to tap into that space, out of the sudden, knowledges that you didn't know that you didn't were aware of just start to arise. And it's for me, it's kind of the soul connection. For sure, my spiritual soul is in my heart space. For me. Yeah.
Any other questions you want to ask me?
No, I guess I really love that purpose of like bringing happiness, light, guiding people into that positivity is a really beautiful purpose of yours. And that's kind of what I wanted to know today.
And about yourself, what's your purpose?
What's my purpose? Well, I've been working a lot on it for a month, like I said before, so I'm really onto it right now. So yeah, it's I mean, I've been working with lots of questions and deep meditations, but for now it's about building bridges. That's my purpose. And for me, it's important that my purpose isn't that connected to something I do, like doing a podcast, for example, or doing the job that I do as a mentor of meditation or coaching people into more inner peace. That's something that I do. But my purpose is bigger than that, which means that whatever happens to my body, or the fact that one perhaps at one point in my life, I won't be able to, I don't know, guide people with internet or anything like this. Building bridges for me can be made with different things. And then building bridges in between the heart and the head, in between my knowledges and other people, and all of this can always be made throughout, in my part, art, my job, painting, singing. There's like so many ways to build bridges. And that's really what I worked on for the past month, to make sure that it wasn't attached to a thing to do.
Wow, that is powerful.
Thank you.
That really is.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Michael, for inviting me in. I really appreciate it.
You're always welcome. Speak to
Thank you, Michael.
Bye bye.